We finally got another look at Kingdom Hearts 4 after 4 years of pretty much waiting for any type of news of this game. Creative Studio 1 pretty much pulled a Rockstar and said, you know what, we just took away one of the games you guys were all looking forward to, so why not just give you a look at Kingdom Hearts 4 itself. Not only were we given one screenshot of the game, but we were given a collage of different images that all tell a different story. So naturally, we're going to admire, look at, and try to break down exactly what is going on in all of these images provided. Also, just a quick spoiler warning, there's going to be spoilers for both the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 as well as the events of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. So let's get into it. So to start off, all of the screenshots we see here are set within the reality of Quadratum, with the exception of Mickey of course, but we will get to that in a little bit. Now if you already weren't aware or probably forgot, Quadratum is a completely different reality, or an unreality, where at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 we see Sora stranded in, unable to escape because of his actions during the final battle in order to save Kairi from death. However, using the power of waking, the power that Sora uses to save Kairi's life, it's a power that comes at a great cost. Trying to revive someone like Kairi disrupts the natural order, and so it requires some type of equivalent exchange, which results in the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 where we see Sora disappear out of this reality and is transported into Quadratum, into the world of fiction. A name that is very ironic considering how realistic Quadratum looks. And now with all of that said, looking at the first screenshot of this combat screenshot we have here, there is a lot to go over. Obviously, you know, looking at the screenshot, you can tell this is kind of like an early build of the game. So obviously, you know, looking at a lot of these screenshots, while definitely an improvement from 2022 in the trailer that we saw there, you can still tell that the game still has a long way to go before it's in a finished state. But looking at this, you know, the most striking thing is the fact that Sora is using his keychain in battle. Of course, looking back at the 2022 trailer, you can see Sora using his keychain as a traversal tool to get around. This is clearly going to be a very big part of gameplay when you're talking about both combat and exploration. And what I find really interesting about the screenshot is the enemies, both the Heartless and this new gauntlet type of enemy we see in the background. Now, if we're thinking about the environment, the reality that we're set in Kingdom Hearts 4, Quadratum is said to be a world of fiction, a world where neither light nor darkness exists. So why is it that Heartless are able to exist within Quadratum, a world where light or darkness cannot exist? Of course, this is going to be a plot point that the game explains very clearly, or at least as clear as Kingdom Hearts can make it, to where, you know, they're going to be able to exist within this reality. But it's very interesting because their design is very strikingly different than what you see in the other games. Of course, this has to do with the reality that we're set in Quadratum, and the fact that it is just a very realistic looking world compared to Sora's reality. So as a result, you know, just like all the other worlds that we've explored in Kingdom Hearts, the design of the enemies, and in this case, the Heartless, are going to match the world. Or maybe I'm completely wrong in thinking that this is the Heartless, but honestly, in my opinion, I think they are, and that they're just able to exist within this reality for some type of reason. We also see the new build attack mechanic here, which of course, going off of the other games, is going to be the combat gimmick for Kingdom Hearts 4. Where in Kingdom Hearts 2, you had the drive forms that gave Sora a different edge in battle in different ways, and made combat feel extremely fresh with every form that you changed into. Or with Kingdom Hearts 3 and the D-Links, and how every single Keyblade had their own ultimate ability. And it looks like with Kingdom Hearts 4's build mechanic, you're gonna be able to transform your Keyblade into different type of weapons, almost like a Green Lantern. As we see in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, Sora uses the Keyblade as a drill to attack the dark side Heartless. Now next up, we have the screenshot of Stritzia. And if you don't know who Stritzia is, if you've only played the mainline games, Stritzia is a very important character to the events of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. In the events of the game, Stritzia is chosen by the foreteller Ava in order to be a part of a group of exceptional Keyblade wielders called the Dandelions. This group's ultimate goal is to both preserve light and to keep the Unions alive well after the Keyblade War, which we know by the events of Kingdom Hearts, and by extension Kingdom Hearts 3, that didn't happen. As for the fate of Stritzia, in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, Cross, before she could even join the group of dandelions, she was killed off by a darkness. And towards the end of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, it is implied that Luxu sends her body to a different time, a different reality. But how she's able to reclaim her form remains to be seen. But the fact is, Quadratum is a very mysterious and weird place, as Stritzia also tells Sora within the trailer that this sort of acts like an afterworld. And judging by the new image we see of her, this is probably taken within the apartment, and it'll probably act as the main hub that we go back to kind of recuperate, and maybe be a place where we can hang out, upgrade equipment, and maybe even play minigames. But you know, speaking of Stritzia and all the Union Cross storylines, it's going to be really exciting to see how they tie all of this together, especially considering that a lot of the events that transpire in Union Cross will directly affect a lot of what happens in Kingdom Hearts 4. We also get a really simple screenshot of a telephone, and though I think it may seem unimportant, you know how Nomura is, he is not going to add something in here if it isn't important. This telephone may have some type of gameplay mechanic or some type of story relevance, who knows, maybe Sora can use it as a way to communicate with others in Quadratum, or even communicate with those on the other side of the other reality. Maybe he can try to use it to contact Mickey and everybody else. Very interesting stuff to think about. But right next to that, and remember how I said a lot of these screenshots take place in Quadratum, well, this next screenshot shows King Mickey in what seems to be not Quadratum, but Scala ad Caelum. And why do I say Scala ad Caelum instead of something like, I don't know, Hollow Bastion? Well, to me, I think just looking at the interior of this building and the bookshelves and how they're all oriented, it looks very Scala ad Caelum coded. And I don't think the library in Hollow Bastion ever looked as good as this. And that's not even mentioning that this is clearly a whole playable Mickey section. So yeah, I think looking at this, I think there's going to be whole sections of the game where we go back to the other reality playing as, you know, Mickey, Kairi, Riku, and, you know, seeing their perspective and trying to find a way to save Sora. And maybe this is King Mickey trying to find some information about Quadratum, or maybe just other realities. But this idea of switching perspectives and switching realities, seeing what the other characters are up to and trying to save Sora from Quadratum, that could be a very interesting way to approach the story, to have it where you're not just playing as Sora, but you're playing as all these different characters that you've experienced throughout the series. Pretty much taking from the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC, right, where you're looking at all of these different perspectives, playing as different characters, and that's something that, you know, I've really kind of appreciated with that DLC, and I hope we get to see that more in Kingdom Hearts 4. We also get a look at a dark side battle and what seems to be, you know, two streaks of light just flying towards this dark side. Now, I think what would be really cool is that if this other streak of light, this orange streak of light, was actually Stritzia, right? And of course, you know, the blue streak of light being Sora, but how cool would it be if you were just able to have Stritzia as a companion and she was just with us for the majority of the story, right? Unraveling the mysteries of Quadratum, and she actually gets to fight with us because remember, she is a dandelion. She is one of the true dandelions that we see in Union Cross. But that is something I really hope to see. I hope that Stritzia is more of a character than, you know, just our guide and almost like an exposition type of character, right? She has so much potential to be such a great character outside of Union Cross, because I really did like her character in Union Cross, but I think she could be even more, and I hope that's what Kingdom Hearts 4 is kind of setting up here. Now, the next screenshot, and I think the last two screenshots are actually, you know, related to each other because it shows Sora kind of just like struck or shocked that, you know, something is happening in front of him, and he's just staring at a huge wave of light. And in the first screenshot, you can see Sora standing around light particles. Maybe they're floating up, or maybe they're even frozen in time. Though this could be anything because we really don't know about the world of Quadratum, this reality, right? It is a completely different reality than Sora is used to. So the type of enemies that he may encounter, the type of characters he might meet or might run into again, such as Yozora, which we do know he is going to be a very big part of Kingdom Hearts 4. So could this thing that Sora's looking at be, you know, a person like Yozora, or even, you know, someone bigger like the Master of Masters? monsters? Or is it something a lot simpler, like just a new enemy type that is being introduced in a really cool spectacle way? But judging by Sora's face, it does look like it's something that is going to be very mesmerizing, something very important to the scene. But again, because this is Quadratum, a completely new reality, this could all just be anything. And yeah, those are all of the screenshots we have here today, and though it may not seem like a lot, I think, you know, all of us Kingdom Hearts fans needed this, like, really bad. It is definitely a welcome update for sure, especially after, what, 4 years of silence? We definitely needed this. And with these screenshots, the Kingdom Hearts team also gives us a little brief update, and it says here, quote, "To our Kingdom Hearts community, we're currently working hard on Kingdom Hearts 4 and will continue pouring ourselves into the game's development. We're dedicated to making this experience that lives up to your expectations. We've seen how excited you are, and we're truly grateful from the bottom of our hearts. We are equally as excited and can't wait to share more about Kingdom Hearts 4 when the time is right. Until then, we appreciate your patience. Thank you for your continued support." And look, you know, other people are going to see this message and be like, "Ah, it's just a huge nothing burger." But I honestly think, like, hey, they're just telling us, like, this thing is still here, development is still going very strong. Here's a whole bunch of screenshots to show our development and just to have something to chew on until, you know, we could get a trailer out in the meantime. And you know, while I would have also preferred to just have a trailer instead, this is also a welcome update and something we absolutely needed. I think all of us Kingdom Hearts fans were just desperate to see something of the game, and we finally got it with these screenshots, and it looks great, so I am happy. And of course, with the news of Square Enix, you know, trying to become a more efficient company in the future, hopefully that means a more consistent flow in development when it comes to not only Kingdom Hearts 4, but all of the projects within Square Enix. A more consistent pipeline with all of these games, all of these AAA games over at Square Enix is what I would like to see, not having to wait, you know, 7 to 8 years, even, you know, almost close to a decade, right? I definitely want to know how you guys think about this entire thing. How do you feel about this new look at Kingdom Hearts 4? Tell me all of your theories, all of your thoughts about these brand new screenshots down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.